Hey, I'm talking here. But somebody was listening. Oh, okay, dokie.
Hello, every person. Steve Rizzo here, and welcome to Hey, I'm Talking Here. This is an entertaining show about empowerment. This is a show that can take you to a better place personally and professionally. And in my view, that is the ultimate success. And because it's my show, my view is really all that matters. Of course, I'm kidding. And this show is brought to you by Conversations with Bob, a book that took me 7 years to write. Oh, he popped it right up there. And for those of you who want to know who Bob is, well, I could say read the book and you'll find out, but I'll give you a hint. Many of you know this anyway. Bob is God, and it's all dialogue. It's getting wonderful reviews. You can order a copy of your at yourinnerbob.com. That's the website for Conversations with Bob. And I will promise you this. After you've read the book from cover to cover, you will realize how much power you have over every aspect of your life. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying. Bob told me to say that anyway. So allow me right now to introduce to you my team. And that would be my director, my producer, my tech guy, and good friend, Mr. Bruce. Bruce, come on up. Hey, how you doing? What are you smiling at? What are you doing? What happened? I can't hear you, Bruce. Speaking about Mr. Tech Guy.
Yeah. Well, there's so much. My dog was barking in the background.
Oh, really?
No, I don't have a dog.
That's a good one, though. You should have kept it. How are things?
Good. Really busy. So much has happened in the last 2 weeks, but I'm not sure if it's on topic for humor being. So maybe we should share it for another show.
No. Actually, this is perfect for this topic because we need humor more than any other time in the history of this planet. Tell the audience you were 5 miles away from
Highland Park.
So Highland Park, where they had that shooting on 4th of July.
Yes. And then actually today, the highway was backed up, so I had to take a detour, which took me through downtown Highland Park. The town seems to have recovered. At least there's traffic back on the streets again, because they shut it down for quite a while. But the pain is still going to be there, and our hearts go out to Highland Park.
Yep. And actually, this is one of the reasons why we're having this topic for what's been happening the past couple of weeks, actually past couple of years in the country. People seem to be out of sorts. And I think one of the saving grace is one of the greatest gifts that we have. It's innate. It's a common sense strategy is to unleash the power of our humor beings. And everybody has one. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yep.
But no, I'm glad you brought that up. It's perfect. Let's bring up my dear friend, Eric Bam, the Bam Man, and a banana and wine. Seriously?
This fruit.
What's with the collar? You look like a priest.
I'm blessing you with wine and a banana.
Should I call you Father Bam? Callahan, I didn't forget you. I'm so excited to read your book. I'm really going to read it. I promise you. Hey, my favorite guy.
Banana.
Yeah, okay, listen.
Thank you. I'm good. I'm excited about this subject today because I know it's something that's near and dear to your heart. And I think it's important. And I wrote down this quote last week from Charles Dickens. It says, "There's nothing in the world so irresistibly contagious as laughter and good humor."
Yeah.
Especially in tough times.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why I'm urging people. As a matter of fact, there's a big chapter of this humor being to the rescue in this book, Conversations with Bob. And for those of you who want to know what a humor being is, everyone on this planet is born with a humor being within them. Unfortunately, most people go their entire lives never knowing they have this power. Your humor being is absolutely a part of your higher nature. It's a part of you that brings out the best in you when times get really tough. What your humor being can give you more than anything else is peace of mind and emotional stability.
Love it.
So, and we have Jay White.
What? This is a friend of mine. I've known Jay for, gosh, 1,000 years. She's amazing. Why not pizza and wine? A banana? Haha. Well, there's something about a banana, and Steve enjoys it. And so,
Wine I like. I wouldn't have banana with wine, though.
Speaking of which, cheers. Where's your wine tonight? You don't have a glass?
I don't feel like drinking tonight. I'm
All right.
I'm just going to sip water. Yeah.
All right.
I had a long couple of weeks, so I'm like taking a break.
And you've got a big trip coming up to Seattle?
Yeah, I'm going. I got to get up at 4 a.m, and I'm going to Seattle. I'm speaking for Boeing. I'm very excited about that, and it's going to be a wonderful group of people, and I will have a blast doing that. And as a matter of fact, I will be talking about your humor being.
Is that tomorrow?
That's I leave tomorrow.
Oh, awesome! So and by the way, you crushed it. Apparently, I heard from a lot of people in Dallas. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Oh, that was a blast. That was the Rock Your Life seminar, and I opened and I closed it, and the closing was just it was a great group of people in the audience who are already very successful entrepreneurs. Right. I mean, very, 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 very successful, but they want to expand their horizons. So some of them want to become speakers, some of them want to become authors and delve into other aspects of what they think they can do, and all different age groups too. And they were very attentive. It was a 4-day seminar, and it was just kick-ass, wonderful speakers, wonderful people. Just, I had a blast. It's one of the best times I had speaking, and I've been doing this for 24 years. So,
one of the things that I find interesting, you mentioned people that were highly successful. I find people that are highly successful fall into 2 categories. One, and it's usually the very small amount, are very just hardwired to be, they are going to be freaking successful. And the majority, in my opinion, have some sort of major insecurity that just drives the heck out of them. And you've done motivational speaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am wrong.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I had to say that though. But one thing that highly successful people do have is a great sense of humor.
Right.
Because they know humor is the great bounce back factor. It's pretty amazing too, Eric. I did stand up for over 20 years, and there were many times when I was on that platform and I was well aware. This was a weird feeling, by the way. There I am doing my set, and I'm in the zone, but there's a part of me thinking that there are people in the audience experiencing challenging times. Maybe they're going through a divorce, having financial problems. Maybe their loved one were inflicted with some kind of illness. But for that time that I'm on stage, their problems, their challenges, whatever they were, didn't own them, because they simply allowed themselves to take time out to laugh. Right. And as I tell people, you're talking about sayings. One of my favorite sayings is laughter is the pit stop in the rat race of life, in that it gives you enough emotional fuel and repairs to get back into the race again. Yeah. But the initiative and the proficiency by which we allow ourselves to laugh comes from what I call your humor being. The more you use it, the more it becomes a part of who you are.
Maybe to run down that rabbit hole just a second, it is interesting how we take things in our life to get away from reality a little bit, whether it's a movie, going to a movie and just being gone for 2 hours and mentally on this and not being sidetracked with something else. Or I have a buddy of mine who loves to watch wrestling, and he's a highly successful dude, and he knows it's not real, but it's this pullback from reality. And I think to talk about, the humor being side of it, there are so many things that can happen in our lives just day to day to day and minute to minute to minute, that sometimes we just have to learn to laugh some of this stuff off. I have a friend of mine who sent me a text message today that said, you don't know how bad my week's been, and I can't wait for tomorrow because this and this and this and this. And I wrote her back and I said, you know what? Like, you got to laugh about that, number one, all that. And then number two, you learn through that process. And number three, guess what? The sun comes up tomorrow. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Can I read you something out of this beautiful book of yours that you wrote that I highlighted this week?
You think I'm going to say no?
Right. Well, so this is from this book, Word According to Bob. Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, intention, attitude, and prayers every moment in your life define your relationship with my energy field. And I would also maybe throw in laughter into that. Yeah. Right. And all of those things, let's read them again. Thoughts, emotions, belief, laughter, intention, attitude, and prayer every moment in your life define your relationship with God.
Yep.
Right. And here's the clincher. There's just a shade more. And here's the clincher. All the circumstances in your life are my response to the way you have communicated with me in my energy field. So what you put out to God in the universe or the divine or whatever is what comes back to you. Yep. And so if we take a situation that sucks and it's not great and it's not ideal, but we look at it and go, all right, I'm going to be okay.
Yes.
Right? That joy that comes from the laughter of just looking at a bad situation and going, I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to get better. I'm going to improve. This isn't the end of my life. I'm not going to, it comes back to you.
Of course it does. And that's where humor always comes into play, because you're talking about the power of intention, the power of your thoughts to connect with that higher part of yourself.
Yeah.
Humor nips negative thought patterns in the bud before emotional havoc blossoms. That's why we have it. I mean, Mark Twain said it best. Not even fear can stand against the assault of laughter. You know,
we should actually probably redo this whole book and throw laughter into that. Do you think? Can we just redo this whole book?
Yeah. Well, if you realize on that section, humor is the chapter on humor is before that, and that's when he mentions to Bernie that humor nips negative thought patterns in the bud, which is why what you just read, he said your thoughts in relation to me are very important.
Yeah,
I already said it in the chapter before. So,
yeah,
what do you think of that?
I agree with that. Also, you know, in knowing this subject was coming, I do a little research, right? And laughter is biblical too, right? It's biblical. Ecclesiastes 3:4. There's a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. And sometimes in life, I think all three of those maybe at the same freaking time.
Yeah, I like that.
I shared with you the other day. Interesting thing for me, I haven't had a lot of death in my life. I haven't been around a lot of death in my life. My Nana passed away, and I remember just like distinctively couldn't feel anything but some joy and like weird kind of laughter that came out of me, just thinking about all the good stuff that came from her and all the little things and all the things she did and how we would mail her letters and she would send us $1. We thought we were rich. We got $1, you know?
Yep.
And sometimes I think, especially like when we mourn things in our life and we mourn loss, especially whether it be relationships or death or whatever, I think it's okay to look at some of those situations and just have not joy, like, oh, like I'm, but to find the joy in those losses.
Exactly.
There is joy in the losses. There's joy in the relationships.
Well, it's those fond memories that you have, and laughter brings that. Right. It sparks that. It ignites that. Like when you go to a funeral, we had that on one of the Word According to Bob videos. When you go to a funeral, didn't you notice how many people at the wake services, they're talking about the deceased and everyone's telling funny stories about the person? And then all of a sudden something ignites within you like, wow, the spirit that constitutes who that person really is lives on forever. And it makes you realize sometimes that there aren't any goodbyes. There's only good memories. So, I think that's a wonderful thing. And Bruce, let the comments please come by. Folks, we love your comments. We love questions. Please share this with your friends.
That's Eric Flor. That's our boy Eric Flournoy right there.
Yeah, I know.
This is the other Eric, our boy Eric Flournoy. He's back on. Eric, good to see you, sir.
Keep going. I know we have more. Hey, Matt.
Uncle Steve.
Hope you're doing well. Glad to see you up on the stage last week. That's a beautiful thing. Thanks, Matt. Hope you're doing well out there. Good kid. Good kid.
Well, this is my friend Jay. I'm going to read this. I have been very thoughtful lately about my social media, removing negativity. Oh, that's a whole other show. Probably why I've been gratified to Eric's post a lot recently. I only have like 3 friends on Facebook now. Can I tell you, and this is a whole probably another show to talk about social media and leave Jay's post up for just a second. If you've got people on your Facebook that you read their posts and it drains you, unfollow them. If you have people on Facebook that post stuff and it doesn't make you feel good, unfollow them. My general rule, if it doesn't inspire, if it doesn't connect, if it doesn't educate, I don't post it.
Yep.
I was in the hospital 2 weeks ago. Very few people know because I'm not talking about it because it in a lot of ways, the people that need to know and knew, but it doesn't bring value to anyone. So if it doesn't inspire, if it doesn't connect, if it doesn't educate, don't post it.
No, I agree. I like that. I like that. Keep those comments going. Dean Tracy, man, I haven't seen you in a while.
Dean Vivian, I love Dean Tracy. That guy's
great.
Look at that. He looks like he can whip our ass, Steve. Look at his picture.
Dean, this is wonderful. I'm so glad you tuned in here. Wish I could stay, but need to run out and feed the horses. I spoke for his group. Oh man, what a great guy he is in California. It was at a beautiful area. Blessings to you, my friend. Blessings to you too. Great to hear from you.
I'll say what everyone's thinking. Post that back up of Dean. Dean
what?
Dean looks like he needs a smile. Look at Dean needs some laughter in his life. Come on, Dean. Change that. Change that link.
Dean's humor being is glowing.
Steve's like, dude, I'm never going to get invited to speak to them again. Can you please shut the heck up?
What I'm trying to say is shut up, Eric. Okay. Okay.
Hi, Eva. How are you? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Eva.
Good evening. Good evening.
Marion's guest. Yep. The memories live on forever. That's right, Marion.
I think that's the point about, looking and having joy in death or in loss. It's those great memories live forever. Marion's, I unfriended over 300 people. I do it daily. Like you realize patterns in people that are political or patterns in people that are negative or patterns in people that like, oh, today's the worst day of my life ever, except for yesterday. Like, nah, I don't delete them, but I unfollow them all. Right. Twitter, I just unfollow people. LinkedIn, I just hide people. It's social media is such a part of our life, and it's not like it's going to go away. So you've got to learn to manage it and to bring joy in your life and find humor. By the way, I unfollowed all the news stations. I don't follow any news. I mean, none of that stuff because there's no laughter. One of the most interesting things, if you go and watch, and this actually makes me laugh in a weird kind of way. If you'll watch ABC News, it's locally on here at 5:30. Let's say ABC News 5:30 with Brad Muir, who is this very handsome dude, right? They will go the whole week, and then Friday at 5:57, they'll say, "Looking good, America," and they'll have like 2 minutes on one dude who did something good for the whole freaking week, and it's like, really? That's the best we can do?
Yeah.
Come on. It's not, not the best we can do.
And by the way, the news is one of the main reasons why you have to unleash the power of your human being.
Yeah.
You just can't. And it's a shame because so many people watch the news before they go to bed, and they watch the news when first thing, as soon as they wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And they don't. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
What's your thoughts on quote unquote laughter is the best medicine? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it is. It's free. It elevates your spirit.
Yeah.
I've been blessed. I've met so many people, a lot of them famous, who accomplished what they accomplished because their sense of humor was the one thing that they held on to. I told you my story about Christopher Reeve. I think I told everyone that. And he has a quote, and he told me this quote, and it's in his books too. My life isn't what I thought it was going to be, but there is love, there is joy, and there is laughter. And he has a chapter in his book, Nothing's Impossible. It's a whole chapter in that book, and it's a whole book about how to create an attitude when life throws the worst possible scenario in your face. Right. And the whole chapter is called Humor, and it's the longest chapter in the book, where he says his sense of humor, the ability to be able to have his children crack jokes about him in the wheelchair, like when he would come for supper and sit at the table with them, he would hit the table and the dishes and everything would start rattling, and his son would go, "Here comes the crazy driver, be careful." And it gave him a sense of normalcy to fit in instead of pitying him and trying to, it's just, it irons out the wrinkles of life, man. It's a gift. And what good is a gift if you don't use it? And we have become so politically correct now, Eric. We were talking about this yesterday. Yeah. I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible. We're stifling our laughter genes, our humor genes. You've got people that wake up in the morning now, and I don't even know if they consciously do it or unconsciously, but they're saying something to themselves somewhere. They're going, who and what is going to offend me today, and they can't wait for it to happen.
Right.
And they can't wait to tell you.
Well, the thing you just said a second ago, that you said humor irons out the wrinkles. I think you said humor irons out the wrinkles in people's lives. And if you said that in the voice of Megatroid, my life would be complete. But, you know.
Humans. Laughter irons out the wrinkles.
But it does. Yeah, you know, we did have a whole conversation, you and I did, about political.
Oh, you're talking about Snagglepuss.
Sorry, Snagglepuss. Snagglepuss.
Laughter. It irons out the wrinkles even. In the waves of life. And I don't mean maybe even.
Sorry, Snagglepuss. Jeez. No, we did have this whole conversation about political correctness, and it's so bizarre because you were spot on. What you just said is spot on, is that there are people that get up first thing in the morning. They can't wait to be pissed off, and they can't wait to find the reason to be upset, and they can't wait to find the reason to point the finger. And it's just so, like, that would be so demoralizing to me just as a person if that's the way I woke up and felt every day. I can't fathom it. And and by the way, we're not talking about people that have health issues or have mental issues or have, you know, we're just talking about like normal people that are so freaking hateful when they wake up. It's bizarre to me. I laugh at those people because when I see it, I'm just like, I don't know how you think. How do you survive? How do you work?
No, I agree. I agree. Let's have some more comments, Brucey. Can I call you Brucey? Exactly.
My friend Rosette is on. Exactly. Totally. Get that. Get that. I hate people is posting things with her every moment of their life on social media is very unnecessary.
Yeah. Keep them going, Bruce.
There's Ted Legal. Hey, guys, love your show so much. I'm watching from the hospital. Ted sent me a message in the hospital. Ted, I hope you're okay. We'll keep you in our prayers.
I hope you're okay, too. I hope everything's all right with you, Ted. Prayers your way. And from a man.
Ted, just for you if you're watching.
What's that?
Just for Ted.
Oh, Jesus.
Because me and Banana's funny.
Oh, you already. And there's Kellen again. Hey, you know what? Why don't we play this next segment for the Word According to Bob for everyone? And this is called Humor Being to the Rescue, as a matter of fact.
Let's do it.
Word According to Bab.
Bab.
One day, in third grade, yours truly was performing in the play Alice in Wonderland. No, I'm not bragging, and no, I wasn't Alice. I was Humpty Dumpty, you know, the egghead, the guy that fell off the wall and was really pissed off when he found out that he didn't have workers' comp. Anyway, it was opening night, and the auditorium was packed. I could see my mom and dad as I looked out from the wings of the stage. I have to tell you, folks, it's a lot of pressure for a third grader. And the time for my scene came in the blink of an eye. And there I was, sitting on the wall in my A costume. Everything was going fine until my line. I'm one who has spoken to a king, I am. Well, I guess I said it with a little too much enthusiasm because I lost my balance and I fell over on the backside of the wall. And all the audience could hear was a giant thud. Now, I didn't get hurt, not physically anyway. But I remember how humiliated I felt waiting behind that wall for the audience to realize that falling wasn't part of the act just yet. And all I could think of was that I messed up big time. I ruined the play. I was going to be the entire laughing stock of the entire school. And how, I wondered, was I ever going to face my parents? I wanted to run off the stage and hide, but I couldn't. I was frozen by fear. Crouching behind the wall, an egg with egg on his face. And as all of these negative thoughts are running through my mind, the teacher's running up the step and she screams out, "Stephen, are you okay?" And without missing a beat, I yelled out as loud as I could, Yeah, I'm all right, but I think I cracked my shell. I hope Alice doesn't mind scrambled eggs." To my young surprise, the entire audience exploded with laughter. Now, hearing the laughter, I slowly stuck my head above the wall to check out what was going on. And as soon as the audience saw my big egghead, the laughter turned into cheers, and everyone, and I mean everyone in that auditorium, including the cast, was standing and chanting, "Humpty, Humpty." Now, because scrambled eggs just aren't as good without a little ham, I jumped up on top of the wall and I proceeded to take many exaggerated bows. The teacher was begging me to please sit down before I fell off the wall again, but I couldn't help myself. I was totally blown away by the reaction and the attention I was getting. Eventually, I sat down, the play continued, and what a huge success it was. That night, in third grade, my humor being came to the rescue. Just by blurting out the first obvious joke that came to my mind, I went from a klutz to a hero. An emotional transformation took place. I went from the most humiliating experience in my young life to becoming the star of the show. Hey, I'm not exaggerating when I say star. When the play was over, I was actually signing autographs. Here's the takeaway. Sometimes in life, all you need is a couple of seconds to catch your second wind. Laughter, your humor being, gives you that couple of seconds over and over again. Now that's power. And that's the word, according to Bob.
Wait a second.
All right, here's my next question for you.
What?
Your friend and mine, Jeffrey Gittimer.
Yep.
COVID hits. He starts going live every day at 9:59. He starts talking about sales. And he starts talking about life every day, right? And he talked a lot about humor and how you have to use humor in sales and how you have to use humor in life. And there was one day, and I remember him like not yelling is strong, but getting loud with somebody that had made a comment about, you've got to be funny. Learn how to be funny. Do you like, I feel like we've been around each other now enough. Like I'm somewhat naturally funny. I see the moment, I can crack a funny beat, what do you say to people that aren't naturally funny? Can you?
I don't think that's the point. I that's a great question. I don't think that's the point. It's not important. And this whole thing about connecting with your humor being isn't that important to be funny. What's important is for you to allow yourself to feel and see the funny. There's the big difference. That's what a sense of humor is. It doesn't mean that you have to be the guy to crack the jokes, but you really have to hone into that part of yourself to allow yourself to laugh, especially in the midst of adversity. It's not about really being funny. It's about seeing the funny. It's about shifting your focus and the way of thinking, because if you don't, that stuff is going to become a part of who you are eventually. Because if you go through life cranky and complaining about things all of the time, that's the reality you're going to be living. And that's where humor can nip those things in the bud and give you a healthier outlook on life.
That's a great answer. And Jay, Bruce, throw up the answer down here from Jay. Because how do you quickly change your reaction and attitude, not be sucked into others' negative orbit, such as in the workplace? So many opinions these days that being funny seems always to be offensive. So I like the way you answered that, right? It's to find the humor in it. But how, for someone like, and I know Jay sees humor in life, but for someone that doesn't see the humor in things, how do you learn to do, how do you do that?
How do you teach that person?
It's easy for you and me because we're that way naturally. How do you see the funny in adversity?
Well, did you ever have like an argument with someone, and a heated argument? I mean, it's really a heated argument, and you're really, really pissed off. This is just one example. And then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks or a week, or maybe in a few days from then, you go back and you review that same thing, and all of a sudden, the two of you are laughing your asses off.
Over how stupid it was.
If you could laugh at it, can laugh at it weeks later, days later, or even hours later, why not shorten the duration of time and laugh at it as soon as you possibly can?
Right.
We all have the ability to do that. And plus, you have to realize the consequences. And let's face it, sometimes things aren't funny.
Right.
But you know what? I'm going to give you a real good example of in 9/11.
Yep.
9/11. We all remember that. This is 3 days after the planes hit the towers. And I don't know what news channel it was, but there was a woman reporter. She had the microphone and she's interviewing these firemen and policemen and all the volunteers that are jumping into the rubble trying to save lives, find lives. And this woman, you could hear a pin drop and you could feel the emotion. And she's looking at this fireman who has his arm bandaged in a sling. He has a bandage around. You can see the blood stain on his head, and he's got cuts on him. And she looks at him and she says, "How is it that you are able to have the emotional strength and the physical strength to go back in there with your arm in a sling and you have bandages all over your head. He goes up to her. She puts the microphone right by his face and he goes, "Hey, lady." He goes, "Two things. Number one, I'm a fireman. Number two, I'm from New York. That's all you need to know." And everyone laughed. Now, wait. That laughter only lasted maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds. But here's the point. Sometimes, Eric, only a couple of seconds is all you need to catch your second wind. Laughter gives you that few seconds over and over again. That guy was connected to his humor being. My brother Michael, who was wounded in Vietnam, I mean, the things that he told me that they went through, it was sick, warped humor just to survive the danger in that place. Yeah. And police officers do it. People in emergency rooms do it. In that work on the emergency wards at hospitals, nurses have a crazy sense of humor. You have to, because otherwise you're going to fall apart. Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching, I just randomly thought about this. I'm on TikTok the other day and I'm scrolling through, right? And they're on the highway and there's clearly a wreck just up ahead. And this guy's coming up to the wreck and there's this car kind of turned up against the wall in the median and it's everywhere. And there's a guy standing there and the guy pulls up in his car. He goes, "Hey." And the guy who's wrecked his car, he's like, "What?" He goes, "You can't park there." And the guy looks at him like, "What the F?" And then he starts laughing, and it's like, "You can't park there." And he's like, "Yeah, no shit, Sherlock."
That's pretty funny.
Just one of those kind of moments. But I wonder if people can't, some people, you and I find humor funny. And it's like, how do you look at some situations and find the humor in it? And you've just got to learn how to. You have to conscious decision to look for it.
Exactly. Right? And the more you look for it, the more you find it, and the more it becomes a part of who you are. Reality is the funniest part of life, and the ability to laugh at oneself. Timing is right. You're right, Marion. It is extremely important. Although I lack thought, mouth coordination. You have gotten yourself in trouble a few times, haven't you, Marion? Keep those comments going, folks. We're going to try and get to all the comments. We love the comments, so please keep them going. Read this one, Eric.
Good evening, Steve and Eric. Good to see you again. Good humor is one of the best articles of dress one can wear in society.
Well said. Keep going with them comments. Well said.
Amazing.
Thank you, AJ.
Amazing.
There's more comments. I know there are.
Rosette's got another comment up here. I love laughing and smiling. And I think laughter is a beautiful thing to have no matter what things you have going on in your life. Laughter keeps you flowing. And I love that. Yeah. Laughter can be, I have a 3-year-old daughter, and man, one of my favorite things is just watching her giggle. It's the cutest thing. And it makes everything okay. So,
wow.
Jay makes a comment about being an ER nurse. Eva says many people are on a negative default mode. Bingo. That's why I pay to be on the internet right there. Many people are on a negative default mode, period. They need to read Steve's book and get their shit together and take responsibility for the energy they bring into any space. Eva, the problem, Eva is spot on with all that, right? The problem with that whole statement is people don't want to take responsibility for the energy they bring into another person's space. It's because what the attitude now is, well, it's my energy and you should adjust to mine.
Yeah.
No. I tell you, I've had such an epiphany lately about social media for me that I'm going to start posting more video than I've ever posted before. I'm going to start posting more pictures than I've ever posted before, and I'm doing it. I posted a video of me dancing with my daughter the other day because she wanted to dance, and it was the cutest thing. If you go back and watch the video, she wanted to do the video, right? Which was cool because she wanted to post it. But you can see her little hand come up so we can dance. You can see her looking at the screen. And I'll tell you why, as a society, we should stop using social media to bitch and complain about politics, and why we should stop using it to complain about whatever else is going on in our lives is if I held up a picture right now of downtown Manhattan 100 years ago, and you saw women dressed up and men dressed to the nines wearing top hats, and we have so many people in our lives that try to find genealogical stuff of the people that we used to know or who our family was. we have such a unique opportunity with our generation and the next generation coming to leave video and to leave pictures. And the reason why I talk about video so much is instead of seeing a photo of great grandpa Steve and going, well, I kind of look like him. Because you've done so much video and stand up and live things that are recorded, your great grandkids are going to be able to say, wow, I have his mannerisms. I do this and I did. And man, people that are not using social media, in my opinion, for what it is, my opinion is this: social media is the modern day version of your grandmother's photo album that's set on her coffee table. That's what it is. And you have an opportunity to take those pictures and add life to them and add laughter to them and add happiness to them, that your grandkids and great-grandkids and great-great-grandkids will be able to see who you are and say, wow, Uncle Steve was freaking cool. And to see who you were. And so many people in our generation, my generation, are afraid to post a freaking video.
I know.
I'm posting more videos and pictures.
As a matter of fact, I think play Mark's comment there, Bruce. Oh, I didn't even read that. 10 years ago, Steve said, Steve
learn how to laugh. See the link. There you go.
Oh, wow. There's a long link. Holy crap. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Now, there's a guy that remembers. No, but you're right, man. It's plus, if you show them videos of laughter, man, you're going to get more hits anyway. So, because everyone loves to laugh.
You know what? I think along the lines of thinking about this, I don't care if I post a video and it gets 0 likes. I don't care, because at this point I'm not posting it to get reaction to it. I'm posting it because I know right now, I know Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn, those are going to be around for years. That digital footprint's not going away. And I'm just telling you, I could go on a little rant about that right now, because
I think you just did. So
I did a little bit. I'm sorry, but it's just so true, and it drives me crazy that
I know.
People,
before I go to sleep, I watch reruns of America's funniest videos.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the things they do when you see people at a wedding, somebody's a little wasted and they think they're really hot and they're on a table dance and all of a sudden they fall off. Yeah. I mean, I love that stuff.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You know, a guy that I think we both know, Sean Litvak. Sean talks about how he feels like social media tends to be people's highlight reels. Right. And I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable enough. I want to see my friends being successful. I want to see them being happy. I want to see them laughing. And here was the thing. If you went to your grandma's house and she had the photo albums on the cut, they didn't have a picture of here's Uncle John when he lost his toe to freaking diabetes. Mm-hmm. They were all sitting there smiling, holding Uncle John's book that he wrote. Those were their highlight reels. That's what social media is today. And it is a miss that we allow our friends to bitch and complain on social media nonstop and not post good quality, fun, happy, amazing, great stuff that's going on in their life so we can support them. And am I saying that negative things and bad things never happen? No, but quite honestly, I don't give a shit. And that's just me being a little selfish. I want to root for the good parts of your life.
No, I agree. And Marion says, yes to the photo albums my mother kept. That's the main reason I can remember so much of my childhood, both in Syracuse and Long Island. Yep.
And the problem now is we take 1 million pictures on our phone, right? We take 1 million pictures on our phone. And when we're dead and gone, they go away with our phone. And we're not printing pictures. We're not printing. And to Tim Lord's question, is that a camel hair jacket? Yes, it is, sir. Yes,
I think we had. I think Chris came on and said something about rock stars. If you can get Chris's quote on there.
Chris is amazing. His comment is that there some rock stars. Now, Chris, I've never met Christopher Rausch. He's
a great guy. I'm going to be on the show again in about a week, I think, or something.
Awesome.
Like that.
I've never met him. I've never interacted with him. But I don't know if there's a dude that wears a do-rag more than this guy does ever. Like he's selfieing on a plane the other day. Right.
He's got a great show too.
He's flying like international to Thailand and to Sweden or something. He's like, I'm like, this dude is so freaking cool.
Yeah, he is.
He's the coolest dude I know.
Show. It's a great guy.
Dude really I know.
I like him. I like him. I think he's a swell guy.
Hey, I was going to ask you to finish up.
Oh, here we go.
Did you growing up what did you think about green M&Ms?
You do this. I should have been aware. I thought we were going to get through it without you asking something out from left.
So what did you have any thoughts on green M&Ms? And what did you think about green M&Ms?
I just thought they were stupid.
Oh, okay.
I just thought they were really stupid green. I never liked M&Ms to begin with.
Really? So you didn't pick out the green ones and just?
No, I like the WWs better.
Gotcha. WWs. Okay, cool.
And Michael Osborne, green M&Ms. Michael Osborne says, just for laughs, in the old candid, the candid camera where they set people up are great. Yeah, I love stuff like that, man. It's like what Eric always does to me. And
this is interesting from Rosette. Like, good point, because I'm not funny, but I love listening to people who are, which is to your point earlier that maybe you aren't a funny person, but when somebody makes you laugh and they, like I said, it's about finding the humor and finding the little thing in a bad situation that you're like, okay, it's going to be all right. Sun comes up tomorrow, So,
well, I think this was and Kellyanne says, Tim Lord, now all my Fav guys are here.
There you go.
Wow.
I've known Eric for over 20 years, and he's always been genuine and funny. I wish I was more like that back then, but I've learned so much in maturity and definitely have learned to laugh more. Jay, I always thought you were funny, so give yourself a little bit of credit.
Yeah.
Eric, a better question is, Steve, did you ever have three Marines salute you as you exited a flight in New York? Did you?
Yes. Okay, I got to tell you that story then. Oh, wow, this is going to be fast.
Wait, hold on. Before you tell that story, Marion did say Steve loves green M&Ms. Fact. All right, tell the story about being.
Marion knows crap about me, so I'm just going to agree with her all the time.
Was this when you gave your seat up to?
Yeah. And this has something to do with your humor being, and that's a great question. And I want to. Humor doesn't necessarily mean laughter. It's something within you that just lifts your spirit and makes you feel good. It puts a giant smile on your face. And this one incident put a smile on my face for a long, long time. As a matter of fact, as I think about it now, I still have the smile on my face. I was at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, and this was during the Gulf War. And we're ready to board at the gate. And the flight attendant went up to these three Marines that I was talking to and said, guys, I'm really sorry, but I tried to get you an upgrade to first class, but all the seats are taken. And they said, oh, ma'am, thank you. We didn't even expect that, but thank you for trying. So when I heard that, I was giving up my first class seat, and I asked for 2 more volunteers. So 2 other people volunteered, a woman and a man, and you should have seen the look on these 3 Marines' faces when we gave them our first class seats. But better than that,
everyone in the world should do that.
But more important than that, Eric, this is what blew me away. You should have seen the look on our faces when we got off the plane and all 3 Marines were standing at attention saluting us. I mean, that just made me feel fantastic. Absolutely. Wow. However, had I known I was going to sit in the middle seat and coach, I never would have done it. So
I would have said, this show's over on that selfish note. You jerk.
I know I should have. I should have went up to the guy and said, look, I know you're going to Iraq, but look at the hell I'm sitting in between. Okay.
I mean, but at least you're a little guy, right? You're stuck back there. Like, so this show, Bruce, just end the show, mute him. He is done.
Yeah.
He's
so let me end it with
clown's over here telling about this great thing he did, and then he's like, hey, by the way, if I know I didn't sit in friggin' middle back here and coach, F you, I'm not giving up my seat.
I know that would have been a great.
Eric Flournoy makes you proud to be an American. I don't know if we're talking about the Marines or if we're talking about Steve Rizzo. So
so anyway, folks, your human being doesn't necessarily mean you're laughing out loud. It brings out a smile from within, and it stays with you for a very, very long time. The more you use your humor being to help you throughout your life, the more it becomes a part of who you are. And I think we'll end it with that. Eric, I love you. Bruce, I love you. Thank you all. Please share. Please share. We want to get the message out to everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful
We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Bum,
Whatever that
bum.
date is. Okay, Bruce.
The Rizzo memo.
What? Hey, actually,
Bruce, end the show.